Hi everyone, I'm Sam and welcome to The Prosperous Pursuit. I share tips, philosophies, and principles to help you create your most fulfilled and prosperous life. Today, I want to share with you 5 books that I feel have had the biggest impact on my life. So the first book I have here is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and this is one of my favorite books, not only because of the content in it, but because it was the first book I read that I genuinely enjoyed, and it just kind of sparked my whole love for reading. So up until I read this book, I absolutely despised reading. I refused to read any book I had to read for school projects or book reports or summer reading. And then my senior year for my psychology class, we were assigned another book by this author, and I kind of enjoyed it, so I picked up this book by him, and I was just mind blown by it. And I think it was because I realized the type of book that I like reading. So up until this point, I was reading only fiction books or novels, and this was the first science-based nonfiction book that I had read, and I was just hooked. And since then, I've read so many books like that. But basically, it talks about how these people in our society who we consider outliers, or the extraordinary successful people, what had to happen to get them to that point. And often we chalk up people's success to things like extreme intelligence or ambition or hard work, and it's really so much more than that. So if that kind of thing interests you and you enjoy statistics stuff mixed with psychology, this is definitely highly recommended. He is one of my favorite authors, so any book by him really is awesome, but this is definitely my favorite by him. So the next book I have is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and it says, escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere, and join the new rich. And I know that can sound like a super spammy title, but I promise you it's not. This book is about so much more than only working 4 hours a week, and it's really the first book that introduced me to the concept of lifestyle design and opened me up to the possibility that you don't have to work until you're 65 or 70 and defer all the things you want to enjoy in life until you're too old to enjoy them. So something it says here is how to trade long-haul career for short work bursts and frequent mini retirements. So it's this idea that you work for a little bit and then you go on a mini retirement where you enjoy your life, and it's not just working your entire life to enjoy one big retirement at the end, but rather incorporating the things you want to do right now. And there is a quite decent section in here about how to work 4 hours a week and an entire business model and resources to implement that. So say you're in a job right now that you really don't like and you're looking for a way out of it, this could be an option for you. But even if that's not what you're looking for, it just has a lot of great information and advice on designing your life on your own terms and making it what you want it to be, as well as some mindset stuff to become more efficient and effective in your life. So whether you're looking for a new job or just looking to design your lifestyle a little more efficiently, I highly recommend this book. So the next book I have is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, and it says a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. And essentially it talks about how a lot of the personal development and self-help advice we're given these days states that the key to living a happy and fulfilled life is being positive and optimistic all the time. And in this, he proposes a different approach that rather than trying to be happy all the time, we should become better at dealing with the times of adversity, because the reality of it is there are going to be challenges, we're going to have bad days, we have problems to deal with, and sometimes life's just going to suck. And if we can't deal with that, that creates more unhappiness. So rather than striving for 24/7 happiness, become better at dealing with the times when you're not happy and accept that that's just part of life. And that is where true freedom comes from, when you can accept both sides of the equation, which I totally agree with. And it also talks about how we only have so many cares to give in our day, and knowing what's important to you and what's not, and making that choice between what you're going to battle over and what you're not going to is super important for our well-being. And aside from all of that, he's just incredibly entertaining and funny to read. So if maybe you are struggling to find happiness, or you just feel like you are giving too many whats throughout your day, I highly recommend this book. So the next book I have here is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and I just love this book with all of my heart. I know I said in the beginning of this video that I don't typically like novels or fiction books, but this book is a novel. It tells the story of a young man who sets out on this adventure to find this treasure that he learned of, and after a long search and many challenges, he comes to find that all along the treasure was within him. And I think that's just a perfect analogy for our day-to-day life. So many of us spend our time searching in the outside world for the answers we're looking for, but truly everything we need is within us if we just know where to search and the right questions to ask. And this book just really solidified that for me. So if you haven't read this one yet, definitely pick it up. It literally took me 2 days to read, and I'm a really slow reader. It's a rather small book and really easy to read, but packed with so much wisdom. So the last book I have is The Art of Possibility by Rose and Ben Zander, and I mentioned this book in a video I made a couple weeks ago, so I will link that in the description in case you want to check it out. But basically it just talks about how there are far more possibilities available to us in this world than most of us are aware of, and due to the framework or the lens that most of us look at life through, we limit the amount of possibilities that we see. And this book gives 12 practices or mindset shifts you can make to step out of what they call the measurement world, or what I consider the socially conditioned world, and into a universe of possibility. And since I read this book, like I just finished it a couple days ago, but as I've been reading it and implementing what's in it, I have felt so much shift just in the way that I look at the world. And this might sound crazy, but life has literally become like more fun to live, and I feel so much more creative and expressive, and I literally just see more possibilities available to me. So this has quickly become, I would say, my favorite book I've ever read. So if you haven't read it, definitely check it out. No matter who you are or what you're looking for, I think pretty much everyone can gain insight and value from this book, but especially entrepreneurs or creative people or people who just feel stuck in a life that they're not fully loving. Pick up this book because there is an entire universe of possibilities out there waiting for you. You just have to shift how you look at the world to see them, and this book can help you do that. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I only mentioned 5 books in this video, but there are far more than 5 books that have impacted my life and brought me to where I am on my journey today. So if you're looking for more book recommendations, I have an entire page of books that I have loved and read, and also books that I haven't read yet, but that have come highly recommended to me on my website, so I will leave that link in the description below. And then every week I also send out a newsletter with book recommendations, documentaries, YouTube, podcast recommendations, and journaling prompts to take these videos and blog posts one step further and really put it into action. So if that is something you're looking for, be sure to subscribe to that below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so I can make more of these. And as always, I leave you with love and gratitude.